Welcome back everyone to Let's Play Supreme Ruler Ultimate episode number 17 or 18, can't remember. Off camera I did it. I tried to do the arduous task of copying the single player save game over to the multiplayer, then loading up as all the different NATO nations, changing their unit pathing to deselect the Allow Merchant Marine, and it was selected for all of them. I'm not sure if this matters or not. I mean, okay, so the first time I did it, I only loaded as France, the main offender here, and I switched it, and I loaded up my game, and I don't think I saw France suiciding, but there was other NATO nations who kept doing it, and the number just kept climbing. So I said, okay, well, if it worked for the French, why don't I just spend the extra time? It was like out of dedication, like a real sense of, let's make this series better, that I went and I loaded up as every NATO nation and deselected it and blah, blah, blah. And proof of that is I even sent myself an offer from the United Kingdom. It was only for like 20,000 rubber, which is, you know, really not that much in the grand scheme of things, but it was a way of, so actually I think we already accepted it, but it'll pop up here as soon as we unpause the game. And that, oh, so anyways, then I loaded it back up as the United States, saved it, loaded it over to single player, loaded it up, ran the game. And what I saw is, unfortunately, the units kept going here and dying, and I was wondering, well, what's going on? But I think essentially either the save game wasn't sticking, I don't know what was happening, but it's not working. So I tried my best, and this solution failed, but it gave me, let's like, you know, when life gives you lemonade, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. What's the silver lining? This whole process made me realize that we actually can do, because I sent myself a trade deal as the UK. I sent an offer to the US as or for the rubber, and as the US, because no time moved forward, the AI never kicked in, and I went over to the the US, and then I accepted it. This means that we actually have a little bit of control over like other nations. We can maybe do peace deals. So if I want somebody here, let's say France and China, if I want them to sign a peace, I can pause, save the game at the end of the episode at least. You know, I'm not going to do this in the middle of the recording, but I can go to France, I can offer peace with China, I can go to China and the same thing, accept the peace. It should be there. Actually, I'm not sure if it gets there immediately or not. That'll be the challenging thing, because if I run the time forward at all, then the AI is going to take over for me. It's going to do it's going to mess with all the reserves, all the different things. It's just, I'm not going to play that way. However, if that little trick works, then we have a way to kind of, you know, if things don't go our way, and I don't mean that in a, boy, we lost that war, I really want to get revenge, I'm going to make them pay me, you know. I mean that is, as in, if France and China are at war for like 30 years, and we're like, okay, this is unrealistic, they would just sign the ceasefire, nobody's even moving anymore, they're not attacking each other. Or in this situation, it's a perfect example, the exact reason why we tried to use it. If one person is just sending neutral units to die infinitely at Leningrad, we'll try to go in and fix it. So if there's something like that, for diplomatic reasons, we'll try to whatever, make things better. Now, I want modern aircraft fuselage. Last time we finished advanced aircraft engines, so that was what gave us the M4 Phantom, which I plan to put on the list, and we'll build it as soon as we can. But what I didn't account for is the fact that modern aircraft fuselage is now up, and that's one I really want. So, in order to get it, I'm going to put the particle colliders down a little bit, and stealth construction does offer us some really good things, including the F-12A Blackbird, which is a combat SR-71 Blackbird. It actually has a special missile, I can't remember the code name for it at all, but it's actually a missile which can be launched at this extremely high altitude and at extremely high speeds and still function. So the whole project is very expensive, and you know, this is actually cheap, I would say, compared to what it might actually be. And this is cheap. Think how expensive this would have been back mid-1950s. So it's a 1969 design, but we're going to get it pretty early. Now, not so early, right? We need stealth construction, which is this technology, but we also need modern aircraft designs, which is this technology. So you can see we actually have a ways to go. I just noticed that one wasn't queued up, so we'll add it to the queue. We have a ways to go for that, but what this means is modern aircraft fuselage should be a priority. So we're going to pause the stealth construction, and then after modern aircraft fuselage enters the queue, I can unpause probably stealth construction, particle collider, both of those. But first, actually, we want to see, this is going to add gyro-stabilized gun mounts, which I think is also a priority. So we'll let this one go into the queue first, and then we'll unpause the other ones. In fact, we'll see what happens after that. Surgical lasers. Okay, surgical lasers. Yeah, actually, industrial lasers is... No, wait. It's gated by some stuff, so it doesn't matter. Okay, good. So then it's fine. Yeah, as soon as modern aircraft fuselage is in the queue and gyro stabilized gun mounts are in the queue. Once those two are both in the queue, we can add the other stuff back, and then surgical lasers, everything else, they can all fight for their position again. But I don't know. Okay, so let's add planar radars. Anyway, so I tried. I tried to solve this big thing. And I have to say that this number of deaths is actually way more than I've had in my other games, which is a little bit frustrating to me. I kept this number, I think, at 400 in one game, and I had a multiplayer game with Alekius, and that one was kept at probably... It was still under 1,000. So the fact that we're at 1,400 by 1955, this is just like... Unfortunately, I would say that it's like kind of like the worst case scenario, or at least the worst case scenario out of all the different scenarios I've seen. Okay, so now what are we going to do? We issued this order to fall back, and it was fun to like roleplay the whole thing. As always, there's always the vocal minority. I mean, this concept, I'm not saying... I don't know who the actual minority is, but there's always a vocal minority, which makes you not sure which side is actually the minority or the majority. But as soon as after the episode was posted, we got a lot of comments. Most of them saying, we're disappointed that you fell back. We're disappointed in this decision. Let's actually just roll the game very slowly here, but it's to be expected. I guess that once you do something which is available for public criticism, what you'll notice is people like to criticize more than they like to support. Probably because people who support something assume that other people are supportive, and they kind of assume that if they don't say anything, you think that they're supporting you. That's true if you know who they are. If you know that that person, if I know a person watched this video and they didn't say anything, I will, well, actually, I don't even think I can do that. However, what's the point I'm trying to get to? A lot of people in the video 2 ago were like, hey, this is terrible, pull back. And then a lot of people in the last video were like, whoa, why did you pull back? And so it's always this way, right? You'll only see negative talk is much more provocative and therefore much more compelling to write than positive talk. Positive talk is like, well, I'm just telling the person to keep doing their job. Well, they're going to do that anyway. But negative stuff is like, oh, I need to tell them to reverse course. They don't see the error of their ways. Let me please tell them. So what am I trying to say? I'm just trying to say that it's not clear to me what exactly the general opinion, government opinion, let's say. We don't actually have a poll going out, which I could do. That would solve things. It would give us a number. But that's what, politics actually is. They would send out polls and stuff and try to get who's in favor of whatever. Anyways, I was considering anyway, regardless of the opinion, because I made my decision, I'm okay, I made my bed, I'm okay to lie in it. But I was considering maybe trying to hold off with Cambodia and Vietnam itself. So they've penetrated into Vietnam now, and I was considering moving my troops back in, but I think that's kind of a lot of hassle. And we can look at it this way. There is some silver lining here. If China takes all this territory, they're going to be very... Okay, this is, by the way, is the diplomatic exchange I organized with myself. So this was me as the United Kingdom sending a request, and then me as the United States accepting it. But unfortunately, we're at 1382 is the magic number. Oh, it's still there. Okay. You can tell I've tried this a lot of times, trying to get it all to work. Very strange. I don't know what Canada is now doing, fleeing. So anyways, 1382, we're going to probably see that number go up. And I did. I And this is what I saw in the very beginning of the first time I tried it, when France was essentially put. I took away France's neutral access, and I didn't see any deaths for a while. I was really happy. It might be related to like game speed, like maybe with whoa, this is a nice Jean Bart. Maybe with the lower game speed, the AI can take a little more time deciding what's the best path to their destination. I think that this might be the case, because right now we don't seem to be. Oh, okay, the Danish have been stubbornly trying to do this constantly, so they're going to be the. Of course, they'll be the counterexample. This one's obviously going to enter and probably be destroyed. So anyway, the long story short, we tried to prevent the navigation, the like brain dead navigation of the AI, and it failed. And we must have a spy here. Yeah. And right now we're, oh, what the heck? 12 out of 13. Did I miscalculate? I must have miscalculated. So let's put stealth back in. How many days have we gone by? Well, it's been on normal speed, so probably only 1 day. And then we'll put particle colliders in after that. Actually, let me put particle colliders in because I'm pretty sure it's going to finish second of those two. Stealth was already partly done. That's a long list. Yeah, stealth will go in first. Alright, so anyways, we'll just entertain these offers. Well, maybe at this lower speed we'll see better performance of the AI. Again, I still don't know for sure about that, but we'll hold out hope that it's the case. We'll protect the Iowa. So, another great piece. That's the thing I forgot to do, darn it. I forgot to load up the comments from last video and the previous videos before that even. So it does look like the AI is suddenly fighting better, though. I don't know if it's just because this huge stream of units is finally reaching here. And like we pulled out, we didn't use the paratroopers or whatever, but although we do want. Oh, I finally looked up how to pronounce this. It's Da Nyong, something like that. So we can call it Danong because that's an Americanized version, but closest to the real thing. So Danong has not fallen. It is the crucial port. I believe that all the French are being launched to it. But they are doing this weird thing where I think they're just taking damage and then moving back to get repaired. There must not be any barracks here. And we haven't used our bombers yet. I think I want to pull out from the whole war thing in general, because we don't want to anger, like, look at all these NATO, Warsaw Pact leaning forces. That's really not good. 15, it says, are Warsaw Pact leaning. So with that total number, if that is true, if that is actually how many people are leaning and they do commit, the Warsaw Pact individuals will outnumber the NATO individuals. And I think, like, if you add our GDPs, like the Warsaw Pact GDP versus the NATO GDP, I believe that it would still be pretty heavily in favor of NATO. Or even if you weighed just the military, because USSR may not have like a great GDP. But yeah, 1,300. But they have a really good military, right? So what's ours? 1,300, 6,500. Yeah, it's pretty good. Also, tourism or unemployment 2.6. I ran so far forward trying to count casualties and trying to see what would go on that I got to May, and I think in May it's going to go up to 2.7%. So we project an eventual increase in the unemployment rate. Thank goodness. Alright, well, now the waiting game, and I guess I should speed things up a bit. Because we're mostly back to the, mostly back to like the research very quickly phase. There's war going on, but hey, even before this, there was troops. See, there's the British, and the British was the main one I kept loading up the last time I did it. There's the Norwegians. Yeah, everyone's still going in there. 1382 is up to 1390. I don't know. It's frustrating. It's also kind of frustrating that the French like have no means of keeping their troops here. They just land and then leave. Alright, let's go do a little bit of bombing before they get back to Hugh. We'll try to protect Hugh. I think it's pretty safe to do the bombings way over here, but yeah, what do I know? Yeah, okay, we'll just let it fall. I mean, it's a lot of units streaming in. Look at even Israeli units. How are these units all going to get back? I've seen it before where when India and Uzbekistan go to war? Tajikistan? I don't remember who it was, but somebody up here, they go to war and India's allies, which at that point was Warsaw Pact, they actually send all their units up here and just got stranded. So they didn't have supply, and they weren't able. Nobody's like sent supply to save them. You know, yeah. All right, let's do the honorable thing here and get these guys to go back and repair wherever they need to go to do that. You could scrap them, but actually I think to scrap them they have to be full strength. So no matter what, they're going to need to be repaired. Ah, man, I really wish I knew a solution to that bug. By the way, things are getting close over here. I mean, the good news is China is taking a lot of casualties. Ah, they're up to 1,400. Darn it. So China's got a lot of casualties. Let's see. Well, there's still only a third of France's because of, I mean, a third of France's, and probably 90% of France's are just sending them over to Leningrad. It's obviously just a frustrating thing to see, but it's going to make the game a little more challenging. Oh, let's try to save the troops which are cut off. I think we did it. I think we saved them. Oh, and look at this huge push coming in. But they like get out, they land, they move, and then they immediately just return. So I don't understand exactly what's going on. Was some good bombing, but might as well go after them. I don't know. If they're not near cities, I don't think it's a big deal. Oh, we got some M103s. That's right. If you need targets, I've got targets for you. So we're going to continue our band. So I should say Geo-political. I can't remember your name exactly, but it's something like that. The same person who wrote the very first long, excellent news article wrote another one, and he called this Operation Encore, I think. Operation Goodnight or something like that was the name of our pulling back, our withdrawal from Vietnam. But the fact that we're keeping some Air Force around to, you know, still aid our allies, that's called, I think, Operation Encore. Can't remember that exactly. So yeah, I really wish I'd pulled up. I forgot to pull up the YouTube comments from the previous couple or even last 3 videos to read the interesting comments. So I guess I'll just have to postpone it. I kind of got stuck with all the work I was doing to try to get. What are you doing? Oh, what the heck? It's crazy. To try to get the nations to not suicide themselves to Leningrad, doing all the what's it called? Yeah, just swapping all the save games in and out, and just trying to get that whole thing working. It chewed up a little bit more time than I. Whoa! I actually did anticipate it would take a lot of time, but it still chewed up time. This might even be a counter push going on by the NATO forces. I mean, look at this. They're pushing back. Oh my, that's amazing. I love the ebb and flow of this fight. I really like it. And the fact that it's only going to be 3 more days and then we have just clear the queues. We got 85 days left for the M103s, but very soon we're going to, I guess, don't clear the queues yet because we actually have to research them first, but very soon we're going to be able to research these Green Berets when we have a lull in the storm. As far as the research technology stuff goes, we'll squeeze them in. We'll continue to support Nepal. I think this is the first time we've had more than 1 bar. They don't hate us entirely now. We don't care about this. Domestic approval. As long as it holds above 31, I'm happy. And I do want it to be high. I do want it to be pretty high because we want, I think the higher diplomatic rating. Oh, okay, what do we get? Of course, we got the Green Berets, basically. Okay, good. So this means gyro, stabilized, whatever's, and they're going to go in first. It's very good. Then after this, as soon as that pops in, particle colliders next. That's fine with me. But then after that, we can even do the nuclear submarines. I'm sorry, nuclear supercarriers. We can do these other things. I mean, I'll put it on pause, but this is the huge one we want to get to. It's only going to take 54 days, but okay. So I'll queue it and then pause it. And what's up next? Surgical lasers. Industrial lasers won't be able to get in there. Medical research 2 won't be able to get in there. Okay, good. So as soon as that happens, then we'll get, what's that yellow one? Particle colliders in. And then after that, I think I'll drop Green Berets into the list. Let's see what happens after that. Improve radars, planar arrays. Yeah, so we won't be able to do that. Okay, good. So as soon as surgical lasers finishes, we can add Green Berets. And as soon as, super carriers. And then after improved radars finish, we can add Green Berets. Environmental recognition. Okay, so we actually can do the waste management, which does have, pollution is not modeled in the game, but healthcare rating obviously is. And NBC safety kits, well, we have a long ways to go for this, but let's go ahead and queue it anyway, because it queues up Tank Tech 64, and that's something we want. Labor shortage is up to 2.7%, so it's April 9th. We beat our forecast. And hey, you know what? NATO is really pushing back. All right, so let's have a long deliberation. Let's because we're kind of, we have to work within the game mechanics here. Let's not call our withdrawal a total withdrawal. Let's call it that we pulled back for like some peace conference or something. Let's role play it this way, because now I do want to consider getting involved again. Or maybe actually I don't even have to. Maybe NATO's going to do the heavy lifting. Maybe this was all part of, I mean, we have to think about it, and people, feel free to take artistic license in the comments if you want to roleplay a news article or any kind of dialogue. I've been trying to answer people who have been voicing their opinion as roleplaying as senators. President Tortuga of these fine United States usually responds directly to those. Or I had one person roleplaying as being a member of Sweden. And now you can do that. You actually can do that because if Sweden, I think the comment was something about Sweden trying to mediate. This was one of the people who were saying pull back. They were saying they can mediate, or that Sweden would like to, or is involved in trying to mediate the conflict between France and China. We can actually roleplay that now because I'm willing to dump this save game into the multiplayer, into a multiplayer game to load it up as any other country to manipulate things the way we want to go. Now, again, I don't want to do that very often, but it's possible, and knowing it's possible means we have the liberty to use it when we feel the need to do so. A supply truck that's cut off, heavy supply truck. This is what I like to use, so it's smart of them to use those. Yeah, but I think we're actually pushing back. I mean, Hugh was the town. Yeah, I mean, look at how far they are compared to the Iowas. They're definitely pushing up the coast here. One more day for surgical lasers. We get particle colliders in. Next. Right on cue. And that means as soon as Particle Colliders is in, which we don't even have to look there, we just wait for this day to tick over. Then we have nuclear supercarriers, which, you know, okay, not the Enterprise is unfortunately not the best aircraft carrier. Again, we're limited by this 4. Huge cargo capacity, and it has reasonable defense. It requires a ton. I mean, not just a ton, it requires 50 tons, sorry, 500 tons of uranium. No, actually that's pounds. So, well, it's about, say, if we call 1 pound, if we call 1 kilogram 2 pounds, then it's about 100 tons. I can't. It's like it's very late. I can't do math. Let me do math momentarily. 2,000 divided by this would be 500. So then you have that 250. It'd be 250 tons. Double? Yeah, 250 tons, I think. No, that's so. If this is 1,000, this would be 2 million if it was in pounds. Okay, yeah, I was doing it wrong. So yeah, this actually is 1,000 tons. So we just divided by 1,000. Oh, I didn't realize it's so easy. You have something in kilograms, you just divide it by 1,000, and that gives you tons. Hooray! I mean, that's an approximation, right? It's not exactly 2 pounds to 1 kilogram, but. And the war continues, but at least no more American lives being lost. Let's see, how's the. Oh my god, 1550. You gotta be kidding me. I wish. Look, I tried. I really wish. Oh my gosh, it's a mess. I really wish there was a way to stop this. The only way to stop it is to go to war with the Russians, which is not something I have planned, so. Okay, research breakthrough, improved radars. So let's activate. Oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4. Microscopy. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so it's 12 now, which means it was 13. I thought I was short for a while, but no, I'm only short because we just finished researching something. So, okay, let me remember this time to actually add the other ones as soon as the day ticks over, which is now. So let's add the Green Berets. And then we'll get the other ones in there as well. And there's a lot of other stuff I'm pretty sure we can do. Oh my god, it's terrible. Well, oh well, it's going to keep the game running smooth, not having that many units in the game. And now at least people have a real outlet. I mean, China's being given a real run for her money. I'm pretty sure she's very low on units. So if we wanted to invade from the north, which, by the way, have our units arrived? Yes, let's start putting units where they might want to go. Always for this, we want to use the terrain map mode. We don't want people parked on a bridge. It's not necessarily a smart idea. I'll keep the 6 there. Oh, there's artillery. Let's not use the artillery forward. Artillery here? No. Okay, good. So we'll probably put the RD in the actual city behind it. Let's go ahead and use, I think, something like this. I'm going to stack the entire front line with M103s. RD being right here would be a good spot for it. We have plenty of it, because they can hit everything from there, but they're not like obstructing the quick path. Alright, research breakthrough, environmental recognition. Pause just to make sure we're not going to miss something. 13 out of 13. Okay, so waste management is going to pop in first. I'm okay with that. I'm still okay with that. So go ahead and do waste management first, then Green Berets after that. Magnetometers is going to do high performance. Oh, but this is extremely important to get in immediately. So we will definitely prioritize this. Magnetometers, high performance. And then these are also really important, so okay, well. So Green Berets will be held back a little bit. And then robotic assembly lines. Okay, that one's also one we're going to prioritize. No, we'll need high performance composites first. Okay, so we won't have to do that one right away. So then Green Berets can sneak in. And this one, well, we'll be able to, I don't know if we'll be able to do that one when it arrives. We need the applied programming and all that. Okay, so let's continue. Let's put These guys with heavy supply trucks in the back. Many tanks as possible sitting forward. I mean, we might actually have too many. Let me grab this whole group and send them north to here instead. I like to put them one hex behind the border just so we don't rack up any kind of, what's it called? Provocation. I guess 2 artillery is good for that. And we want to send, oh, we do have artillery here. And also AA, which we definitely want to use over here. Oh, okay, so domestic prices, we don't care. Domestic approval, 31.9, good. Supporting Nepal, good. This is magnetometers, so we need to make sure we bump up whatever it is. Okay, yeah, so pause Green Berets, get the high performance stuff, and then put the Green Berets back in. We have 45 days to wait for the Green Berets, but that's fine. Guess let's take a look down here again. I want to start managing our forces, but yeah, I think we are really pushing back. They're back to almost Vin. Amazing. Surprising. What does this mean for China? This is crazy. The reason this is crazy is because I want to be the person to conquer China. I don't want it to be NATO, general NATO force. But this is the alternate universe that we're going to live in. Maybe we've already done too much. Okay, let's go ahead and pull our bombers back out. Yep. That's amazing. And it's a lot of time when these forces helping out too. And that I like. That feels realistic. They bypassed Vin. God, that's crazy. Vin. Of all things. They're up to 1600. Man, in my best game, I was like 1960 something, and I was up to like 3,000 kills as the United States after a few wars, even after taking East Germany. So seeing them at almost 2,000 this early is just way more than I expected to see. Again, it is sweeping the NATO forces, cleaning them up so that we don't have any lag, but that's really not the way I wanted it to happen. .7. Very happy to see that. What do we have here? Those TL-1 rovers, they look really high-tech, but I guess they're not. That's the punchline of that. Vin's under siege. Impressive effort by NATO. It's crazy, they're actually taking it all back. Little brief lapses there just to let the game catch up. Let's just take 5 artillery. That's actually kind of already a lot. Move the rest up here. More M103s, I think, is what the doctor ordered. Yeah, I don't want to go to war with China until they give up Dalian. How is China doing, though? Because at some point... Okay, their military approval is good. What about France? Their military approval is also good. 32 versus... Wow, 22. Well, it's possible that China will capitulate. Obviously, this is not wearing down the French forces. I mean, the French people. Considering this is just a sliver of France. And it's not at all the mainland, you know. Boy, those are some weak units, though. "33 more days until we can throw the Green Berets back on." They're going to take 162 days. What? I thought it was 54 days. Is that to build? 54 days to build. Let me just do this real fast. If I go over here... Yeah, I guess this is not how many days it's going to take to research. 162. Okay, that's really good to know. I did not know that as much as I've played this game. I don't know how I never caught that before. This is really not how much... Okay, it's just how much it takes to build, just like it would be in this screen. Okay. It looked like they were flying in... Was that with the lightning? So what's the... Oh god. We're up to 601? Why are we up to 601? Were we already at 601? Are we killing someone somewhere else? This is like a slow, steady drive. Vin has been taken. I didn't even know that. Wow, it's happening. Boy, this is just a remarkable turn of events. It's kind of cool to watch even for me. So I hope it's that way for you. I mean, maybe it's more... more exciting for me to watch, because it's a result I didn't expect. And I think if we hadn't been there, they would have just got completely overrun before this. Like, one of the ideas, if you are to invade, like we were to declare war, which I don't want to do because, again, the Russian-Chinese relations are so good, is I like to invade through the heart, which is Hong Kong, while making my push from the North Korean territory. This 1-2 punch is usually pretty effective. Oh, we can't really go up much faster. This is the second fastest speed, and honestly, I don't want to bring it up to the fastest because it probably won't make a big difference anyway, since I think that this is slower than it should be. The second fastest is not quite where it should be. So all the calculations, I guess all the war, the combat rolls, whatever. It's a terrible deal. So the question is it worth to try to get Iran on our side? I'll say yes. Probably is time to make another deal with the British for rubber. Give men rubber. So this is for 90 days. That's actually kind of a lot. Let's take it down a bit. There we go. Wow, that's a lot of money, but okay, we'll do it. They might ask for a pinch more. Wow, this is actually insane. Actually, French Laos is actually being recovered. Oh, this poor artilleryman. He's doing his best. Now it's turning into this poor combat engineer. Actually, he's gonna get out of there. Oh, what the heck is this guy doing? I think they ran out of supply and they can't even retreat. But they went pretty deep there. Oh wow, they accepted it. Fantastic. 1750. Okay, that one is actually really important, so no, we need to wait for... Sorry, Green Berets. One day your day will come. Could even pause nuclear supercarriers, since honestly those are less important than the Green Berets. Let's see what I have in reserve right now, so that we'll kind of scan through everything. Some engineers. Some rangers. Yeah, the Easy 8s. I'm not watching this going on in the middle of the screen, but you may if you like. A lot of Conquerors. It's good to see. I probably have some in reserve. I mean, we just completed like 25, 35, I forget. No, it's 25. So, there's more there for sure. Got plenty of these, which is good. They are a very, very good gun for their time and for their money and just all around. Might need some more anti-aircraft. Okay, let's look at the reserves now. We do have a few airborne units. Oh, the Pershings? We still have the Pershings? Okay, we need to sell the Pershings. Who will we... Ah, Nepal's really coming up. Who do we want to buy the Pershings, or sell the Pershings to? Well... You know who a good person to sell them to would be is Pakistan. Will they buy them? I'm assuming... Oh my gosh, Pakistan doesn't have like any money. Okay, well, we'll sell 3 of them as a gesture of goodwill. We sell them for 1/3 their price. Which, depending on... I think the price of the unit is affected by the GDP, which is part of the reason why I think that other units... I mean, other countries see our units as so much more expensive. So they accepted, and let's just see what they thought our units were worth. Yeah, they thought it was like almost a 50%... Sorry. They thought it was almost, yeah, 50% overvalued. Well, more than that. Which I disagree with. We would never be that bad with our trade deals. We want everyone to like us. Now, there's other Pershings. Where should they go? Maybe Taiwan. Just seems like their island's too crowded. Japanese are probably dealing with our airborne. What else? Some kind of artillery. Some Renault G1s, interesting. Yeah, let's give them, yeah, they're at 7 billion, so let's give them some tanks. How about 5? Money is not that big of a concern to us, but might as well get something for our trouble. 2.7, how long will we stay at 2.7% labor? Who knows? I think I'm going to wrap this video up here. So, this kind of was a nothing video, as in we didn't really do much, we just advanced time. The only thing you can say, oh, USR and Ireland, wow. That's going to make for some fireworks later. So the only thing you can say is that the NATO has really, really pushed these troops back. Actually, Vin got pushed. They pushed back all the way to Vin, so maybe this is a huge counter push going back south again, back in the Chinese favor. And I still don't see any non-Chinese forces around here, so it's just China. So far, no Russian troops or anything like that. But yeah, let's go ahead and call this video to a close here. So, until the next episode, thanks for all the role-playing. It's been fun to read all that and interact with everyone. Let me know if there's any... Well, go ahead and senators, congressmen, representatives, whoever you are, or foreign ministers, whoever. Go ahead and make your opinion known in the comment section, and I'll respond, or at least hear it, but probably respond as well. And then we'll see how things go back in the next episode. Or, also, if anybody knows a way to fix this that isn't loading the mod, because I believe you have to start a new save game for the mod. If anybody knows how to fix this darn death trap at Leningrad, even a plea to the developers, perhaps. 1800, that's just insane. So, until the next episode, thanks for watching, and take care.